All right, today we are diving into what might be one of the most exciting economic frontiers on the entire planet, Africa's blue economy. We're going to break down the 7 key countries that are really leading the charge. So let's get right into it.
And really, it all kicks off with this massive question. I mean, think about it. Africa has over 30,000 kilometers of coastline. That is just an immense amount of potential to power the continent's future. But how is that potential actually being unlocked? And maybe more importantly, who's doing it best?
Okay, before we jump into the rankings, let's make sure we're all on the same page here. When we say blue economy, we're not just talking about fishing. It's a much bigger, much more powerful idea. It's about using all of our ocean resources for economic growth, for livelihoods, for jobs, but, and this is so critical, doing it in a way that's sustainable. Preserving the health of the ocean ecosystem for the long haul.
So, with that definition in our back pocket, let's take a look at the countries that are actually turning this concept into reality. We're going to count down the top 7 strategic players who are really setting the standard for everyone else.
And kicking things off at number 1 is South Africa. Honestly, they're considered the gold standard here. They're setting the bar for how to build a really comprehensive, modern blue economy. And they're doing it through strong governance, a serious reliance on data, and a genuine commitment to innovation.
So how are they doing it? Well, it's not just one thing. They have this really clear national strategy called Operation Fakisa, Ocean's Economy. And what makes it so effective is how it brings everyone to the table. Scientists, policymakers, the private sector, and gets them working together toward clear, measurable goals. They're using cutting-edge stuff like digital monitoring and AI to set fishing quotas based on real data. And of course, they have this world-class coastal ecotourism sector, especially along the famous Garden Route. It's just a completely integrated approach.
And the key takeaway from South Africa's playbook is huge. It proves that you don't have to choose between the economy and the environment. Their success shows that a blue economy can be industrial, it can be profitable, and at the same time, it can be green and inclusive. That is a really powerful message for the rest of the world.
All right, so after the leader, we've got a group of top contenders. And what's so fascinating here is that each one of them shows off a completely different way to succeed. This is where we start to see that it's not a one-size-fits-all approach, but more of a mosaic of strategies.
So coming in hot at number 2, we have Morocco. Now, Morocco is an absolute powerhouse when it comes to fisheries. I mean, they're one of the continent's largest producers. Their whole strategy, which is called Halioudis, is focused on adding more value right there at home through local processing and better fleet monitoring. The big challenge for them now? They're in this critical transition phase, trying to make that massive industry sustainable and, avoid the huge risks of overfishing.
And right on their heels at number 3,
Kenya. And Kenya's model is, wow, almost the polar opposite of what we just saw with Morocco's industrial scale. They are true innovators when it comes to linking marine conservation with tourism and community-led startups. They put a special focus on empowering women and young people, especially in projects around mangroves and blue carbon, which is just a cool term for the carbon that gets captured and stored in our oceans and coasts.
And this comparison just illustrates the contrast perfectly, doesn't it? On one hand, you have Morocco's industrial scale approach, all about production. And on the other, you've got Kenya's community-scale model, which is built on conservation and social impact. And get this, both are in the top 3. It just goes to show how many different ways there are to build a successful blue economy.
All right, next up on our list, at number 4,
Senegal. Now for Senegal, the blue economy isn't just an industry, it's the lifeblood of the nation. Seriously, it's all built on the backbone of small-scale artisanal fishing. This is absolutely critical for food security and for jobs. Their biggest challenge, though, is protecting that vital resource from illegal foreign fishing fleets, which are putting just immense pressure on their local fish stock.
So after seeing just how foundational fishing is for Senegal, we're going to turn to our final group. I like to call them the specialists and the sleepers. These are the countries that have carved out these really powerful specific niches or that are sitting on massive, still untapped potential.
Okay, so at number 5, we have Mozambique. This place is a coastal giant with over 2,700 kilometers of coastline. Its huge mangrove forests give it massive potential in what's called blue carbon, which could make it a major player in climate solutions. Then, at number 6, you've got the small island nation of Cape Verde, which punches way above its weight. Their whole model is about regenerative, community-based ecotourism that puts money directly into the pockets of local people. And finally, rounding out our list at number 7 is Namibia. They are a true leader in efficient, sustainable fisheries. Their model is built on solid data and, just as importantly, super strong enforcement. It's really a benchmark for how to manage ocean resources responsibly.
So after walking through these 7 really distinct examples, it becomes crystal clear, right? There is no single path forward. It's much more like a beautiful and complex mosaic. And this summary here just lays it all out perfectly. You've got South Africa's data-driven leadership, Morocco's industrial scale, Kenya's community focus, Senegal's artisanal backbone, and then you have the specialists like Mozambique, Cape Verde, and Namibia. Each one brings a totally unique piece to the giant puzzle of Africa's blue economy.
So what's the big takeaway here? What's the one thing we should really remember as we look to the future of all this? It really comes down to this powerful idea. The African blue economy is not a race with a single winner at the finish line. It's a mosaic. It's this rich tapestry woven from different realities, diverse cultures, and unique solutions that are all tailored to local needs and local strengths.
And that leaves us with one final and I think crucial question. The countries that are going to lead tomorrow, they won't be the ones who find some single magic formula. No, they'll be the ones who invest wisely in all 3 of these core pillars: good, reliable data, strong, empowered communities, and, of course, healthy oceans. The future of the entire continent could very well depend on how we answer that question.